Today on Network Africa, Nigeria's air transport sector riddled with workers' sack and airlines ending operations. The African Union planning an intervention into the political crisis in Gabon. Focus again on the migrant crisis continues as 15 bodies are recovered and more than 2,700 migrants rescued off the coast of Libya. Let's begin Network Africa. I am Amarachi Ubani. Nigeria's aviation sector is reacting to the present economic challenges being experienced in the country, but is riddled with problems that may have begun before the present recession. Poor airport infrastructure, high costs and scarcity of aviation fuel, and lack of major maintenance facility are factors identified by the president of the National Association of Nigerian Travel Agencies, Mr. Bankole Bernard. He's urging authorities to declare a state of emergency on the aviation industry, which he says would attract the attention of government to rescue the sector. He has also pointed out that due to the economic downturn, certain airlines such as Iberia, United Airlines, Emirates and British Airlines have either reduced their operations or have left. Even local airlines are having problems keeping up. On Wednesday, August 31st, one of the popular carriers, Aero Contractors, announced they were suspending operations indefinitely. First Nation also announced it was going to be leaving its planes in the hangar. The Director General of the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, Mr. Mukhtar Usman, said the reason for this was because of the dwindling number of planes in the fleet of the carriers. But, he says, the domestic carriers have not wound down operations. Meanwhile, the Nigerian aviation industry is said to have contributed $685 million to the country's gross domestic product as of last year. Joining us to discuss the state of aviation in Nigeria is a pilot and transport expert, Captain Umo Edemeka. Thank you for joining us, Captain. Now, if you would, please explain.
Good evening.
You're welcome. I suspect there's a delay. If you would, please explain what's really going on in the Nigerian aviation industry.
The aviation industry in Nigeria is, if you look at the history of the aviation industry itself, there's nothing new that is happening now that has not happened before. Before now, you have several airlines have come and gone. Bellevue had been there before, had gone. Skyline had been there before, had also gone. Several airlines have come and gone. And a typical nature of the industry is that the industry remains the same. Nothing has really changed. So what is happening now has actually happened several times before. If you take statistics of the airlines that have operated in the Nigerian environment in the last, say, 30 to 40 years, you find out that the ones that have actually ceased operation is actually had been more than the ones that had operated or had remained in operation. So if Bellevue came and left, Chachangi also came and left, Skyline came and left, all local Nigerian-owned airlines. And this is not new. So this is the history of the aviation industry. So for you to do anything about it, first of all, you must understand the history of the aviation industry itself, and then you find a solution to it.
But how did we get to this point? What are we doing wrong that makes us repeat, this incident?
Well, what we're doing wrong is just simply one thing. We have not actually done. I have not seen. I don't know if anyone has done this. Nobody has actually done an expert study of why these airlines go under. This is the issue. No one has not seen a postgraduate student or researchers or independent thinkers. As soon as the airline go down, they go in and they look at why did this airline go down? What were the factors that actually contribute to these airlines going down, and how do we mitigate in case if this kind of situation wants to repeat itself again or happen again. But all what we have done all these years is that as soon as the airline go down, we float new ones, and they also go down again, and we float other ones. So it's like a circle. You know, we keep on doing the same thing, having the same results. This is the problem.
Yeah, and more and more airline workers are being sent on indefinite leave. Eventually, I think they will be laid off, already adding to the overwhelming unemployed market. So is there a solution that does not involve laying off thousands of people just to keep the industry afloat?
Well, you see, just as I said, the industry itself, the industry itself is, the current crisis is an indicator of the current challenges that we have in our economy. Of course, the airline is a reflector of what your GDP should be. If you have growth in GDP, of course, you have growth in airline industry. So what we should do now is that, but again, globally, airlines are doing very well. But we should know that we need to globally, the British Airways is doing well. What you call it, Flight B is doing well. All the airlines in Europe and America are doing well, except just a few that are not doing well. So we should ask ourselves, then what are the challenges? Of course, the present situation now mirrors the recession. There's no doubt about it. But what I'm saying is that in a more general and historical sense, this situation resembles what has happened, what the case has always been. The challenges remain. Apart from if you exclude the situation that happens the world over. For example, now the prices of aviation fuel internationally has gone down, but has it gone down here? The answer is no, it has not. So our aviation industry have unique challenges. You see, and these challenges they include such as the strategies in which the airlines run themselves. Of course, an airline needs to define whether it's a legacy carrier or a low-cost carrier. Yeah. You see, an airline needs to be a good. So an airline needs to say this from the one, and then channel its operation or its operation to the kind of strategy that you want to put in place. Then we talk about maintenance. Every bit of maintenance in the industry is done overseas. So we need to look at a way of actually mitigating what we call currency exposures, because the airlines have too much foreign currency exposure. By that I mean that they trade in naira and then do their maintenance and their training in US dollars. And you know how scarce it is to get these dollars now. So there are lots of challenges that the airline industry faces.
Very quickly, sorry to cut in here, Captain, but very quickly, the President of the National Association of Nigerian Travel Agencies is calling for a state of emergency to be declared over the aviation industry. What do you think?
No, I don't agree with him. What emergency do we have? We don't have emergency. What we have is strategy. The wrong strategy within the industry. We don't have emergency. No, I totally disagree with him. It's actually not an emergency, because when you call something an emergency, that means that thing is not a normal again. No, but this is a normal process. All what you need to do is to tinkle with what is on ground. Like, for example, I give you something. I tell you something now. Nobody has done a study of the amount of taxes a particular airline pays. I show you something. In typical theoretical situations and scenarios, airlines make between 6 and 8% profit. Okay, this is the standard anywhere in the world. Low-cost carriers could go up to 12 and 15%. Now, nobody can tell you what a typical airline will pay as taxes, landing charges, fines. Now, I mean the list, not the amount now, but the list of charges: parking, landing fee, navigation charges, passenger service charge, and all the fines.
Umo Edemeka, thank you so much. We know you have a lot to say, but thanks a lot for joining us on Network Africa. Appreciate you joining us today. When the program returns, the African Union wades into Gabon's political crisis. We'll have more on this. Please join us again.